Shack Update by Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. So, I've not been in the shack for a while because I've been trying to get it reorganised, and today, which is the 20th of February, I've finally finished to some extent. Okay, so this is, well, the corner where I operate, and there's an oscilloscope there. I don't use that oscilloscope much because it's a bit flickery and it's quite uncomfortable. So we've got my operating position. There's two CBs there. There's a TTI TCB 550 with the speaker removed, which is connected to the computer to act as a little bit of a bridge between CB and Zello. I'll cover that in a different video. On top of there's a President Grant 2, obviously. So I want to use that as a home radio. There's a linear amplifier on top of that, but I've only been testing that linear amplifier, and it was convenient just to hook it up to a CB radio. I'll be taking that out before I actually put it on the air. So, and I know that linear amplifier is working, so I will obviously have to take that out at some point. So, moving along, we've got the computer, which is just there, and prior to place there, the most recent copy of Radcom, which came through the door a few days ago, and I still haven't read that yet. I'll get that read. Then moving over to the scanner receiver section there. So I've got that realistic scanner, the Belcom one. I don't think I ever covered a video on that one, or the realistic. The little Omega receiver that I've got. There's a Sky LNB on top of there. I have a use for that. That USB power supply, that's just there temporarily, as is the pen. I think that's a fuse. Yeah, it's a fuse. That computer backplate and the headphone adapter for use on an aircraft. So moving along to HT charging corner, we've got Handheld CB's PMR 446. You might notice there's another Intec H520 Plus there. That's broken. It's been broken since 2007. Not long after I bought it, actually, which is most annoying, which is why I got the other one. This is the Midland Allen 42 Multi. There. PMR 446 on this area consists of the Midland Base Camp 446, which is a dead battery. Well, the battery's actually completely knackered. I'll have to get a new one. I've got an Intec MT5050 and two Benetton Action 950s, one of which has got a BNC socket modification done to it. So technically doesn't quite meet PMR 446 standards anymore. There's a couple of chargers there, one's for the MT5050, one's for the H520 Plus, and two rechargeable batteries left over from when I got the H520 Plus working. So moving along, we've got the jumbo spot. I was going to do a video on that when I first got it, but that never happened. And we've got my HTs, two Baofengs, my Wuxun, my Anytone, the Baofeng BF888, which I don't really use, and that Retevis there as well, which is my only Retevis. It's an analog radio, and they're all charged by the power supplies down there. That's the back off the monitor on the video editing position, which is just over here. So that's the video editing position. So next is, I'm going to close the door. I don't really want the door open right now because the hallway is also quite cluttered. Right, this is antenna corner. Well, there's a curtain rail in there as well as two fiberglass masts, one of which is actually broken and not really usable. So the spider antenna, as we call it, which obviously isn't fitted with the orbiter because that's actually on the car. Well, orbiter, Springer, whatever you want to call it. There's in there ground plane antenna for 2 meters. There's a dipole for 2 meters. Another dipole there that I built primarily aimed at 2 meters, which I haven't actually tested, and a flat pot antenna which I built for 2 meters that again I haven't tested. And then there's a Thunderpole on glass antenna for 2 meters, and a couple of accessories including my drive-on mast stand. And okay, so over here is all the shelves. The top shelf's just loaded with Radcoms. I've had to modify that, all guarded by the Stig from Top Gear. Stealth Antennas book, that's the old version of the book. The Radio Communications Handbook and my communications folder. The certificate for me passing my intermediate, I've not put the one for passing my advanced up yet. And on the other side of there is actually my amateur radio license. There, I'm covering my address up because there are people on the internet that obviously would want that, and, you know, they're not having it. Simple as that. There's a Heathkit valve voltmeter on that shelf, and I do actually plan to restore it. Then the next shelf, power supply CBs, microphone I'm not going to use, lots of instruction booklets and things. It's just mostly all cluttered and a little bit disorganised, but that's because I've not really got enough shelf space. This corner is a work in progress corner. Things that are a work in progress, with the exception of that tool, which is actually there because it's the only place I could store it. And my workbench, which has a soldering iron tip tester to make sure it's actually at the right temperature. My soldering iron is actually calibrated, which I'm not sure half the time. Some PP3 batteries at the back, there's a glue gun, there's a Cliff quick test there, which will be used in the restoration of that Heathkit valve voltmeter, which will be done on my electronics channel actually. There's a Hoppy power meter there as well, and my multimeter that I always use, and then some lamp testers there, which will probably appear on my electronics channel, and there's back to the oscilloscope. So, at the moment I'm obviously not on air, so I don't have an antenna up, and one more thing. Any of you have looked at the Shack Cam, it's that camera there. So, this is basically it. Underneath I've got there's a computer, and there's the interface for that Zello gateway that I'm kind of experimenting with. It's just an experiment, it's not going to be done properly. Box of coax cables, and what Shack wouldn't be complete without a box full of junk. There you go. So, let's go back over to the radios. Yeah, I've got them on just for effect. I don't actually have antennas connected to anything here at the moment. So, you know, I just like to make a bit of a show when I'm... So, hopefully my next videos will all be filmed in here. And that will mean that it will be much easier to do things with radio. I mean, because filming at the dining table, all well and good, but to be honest, could do without. That power supply there, I've had it for a while, it still works, but I'm planning on replacing it with something else. And yeah, basically is it really. The SS9900, which you see over there, that might get used in here, but it might not. That depends on whether I do operate 10 metres from here. But I need an outside antenna, and I am working on sorting that out. So, I think that basically covers it. I've even got a notepad and some pens there for writing down call signs and such like, but like I said, I can't operate right now because I don't really have anything in here antenna wise. All the antennas are in the antenna corner. So, anyway, there's Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres, PMR 446. Well, you might catch me on 11 metres, you just never know. I do have a President Grant 2 in here. And as I say, that burner's coming out. Yeah, I don't know why they call them burners though. It's weird. I don't want to be part of the burner brigade. I don't really want to break the law as far as CB's concerned. I've got an amateur radio licence, I don't really want to do anything that would jeopardise that. So hopefully the next video will be when I actually get an antenna up, but there might be something in between then, we just don't know. So, I don't know what time it is, I'll have to wake the computer back up because that will tell me. It is 10 to 7. So, it's took me a few days to actually get this done, but I've got it done. Well, so it's actually been a work in progress for a few weeks, really think about it. So, yeah, I've actually got my jumbo spot on, but it's not connected to anything at the moment, so... I like it connected to the hub net, but I don't think there's much charging in the FT2D, which isn't in here at the moment. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. So 7.3 for now, and don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell, you know the drill. But I'll just remind you again at the end of the video. Okay, it's Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, saying 7.3. Catch you later.
Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified of new videos as I upload them. 73 is from Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 on 11 metres and PMR 446.